What's up, guys? Rob Kuhn here, and we have a massive tournament hand. They're playing for $4.8 million, and this hand has it all. I was actually very shocked when I saw this hand, so I'm not even without any spoilers, let's get in the action. I'm excited.
I can tell you that if I'm ISOing 10-2 off, 40 deep in a heads-up match, I'm going to be lost on a lot of runouts and make a lot of blunders. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but it's
unclear how to approach it.
Yeah, I should give you pause.
Just for context on this tournament, this is a 200,000 eight-handed tournament at the Triton. Like I said, they're playing for $4.8 million. This is Adrian Mateos, absolute live crusher. I think he's top 5 all-time earnings. And Victor Limitless Malinowski, I believe. Absolute one of the best online players, starting to play live a little bit more. Obviously doesn't play as much as Adrian. And this hand is okay. Let's just go. Obviously this is heads up.
So we take a flop top 2 pair for Malinowski.
Victor would like to take a pause here and live in this reality for as long as possible.
250.
And he's going to love to see the 250K bet from Mateos. Now, it's interesting because we got so much hand right now, but we also kind of want to build the pot. Do we check call or do we check raise?
So this was limp pre, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
I think that influences us a little bit more towards call.
Does agree.
I would think both are.
Okay. Pre-flop, not too much to talk about. King Deuce goes for the limp. Heads up is very difficult in live tournaments, or in tournaments in general, I should say. I'm not going to describe too much of the action. You can obviously raise King Deuce here. Limping is completely fine. Jack 9 checks back. And then Adrian goes for the bet of 250,000, which is a min bet. And Victor just goes for the call with top 2 pair. I don't think there's any reason to raise. You can, obviously, but, I mean, you just have the nuts at this point. So, a guy like Adrian's very aggressive. Let him bluff it off. Let's take a turn.
On the table as options. Mateos has one of those hands that can really spaz out.
3 on the turn. Quite the blink.
And what makes this a great candidate for continuing to bluff?
Well, Petrangelo likes to call it the bad boy corner, ace low and king low. They just kind of lose their mind because they unblock a lot of the one call hands, Let's say Victor had 8-7 or 10-8. I thought that it was a heart might have saved Mateos from that fate. Maybe like the offsuit 3 of diamonds. I felt very confident he bet. I wasn't sure here, but this is the kind of generally above the rim play that a lot of high rollers find here.
Jaffe, he's just bet 1.9 million.
So in other words, when you do this and you overbet, you don't want to have like a 7-8, 10 queen, all that stuff.
Exactly. Victor's got queen 8 and 7-8 and 10-7 that are going to check call very high frequency and then check fold turn nicely.
When Mateos goes this big on the turn, he's asking more than those hands to fold.
Yeah. I mean, Victor's going to fold most 4 if it's not 4x of hearts and maybe mixes in some 9 fold.
Yeah.
Remember, we don't think he has much jack when we bet small and get called.
Okay. On the 3 of hearts turn, Adrian Mateos bets 1.9 million into, I believe, 1.2 million. And this is a very polarizing bet. And you're probably asking yourself, why is he betting with king high, after the guy calls on the flop? Well, it's because we unblock, okay? The concept of unblocking is something that a lot of players don't understand. So hands that you don't want to bluff here are hands like 7-8 or, potentially queen 8. Stuff like that. You want your opponent to have 7-8 here. You want him to have queen 8 or maybe king 10. You want them to be in. You basically want them to have a draw, okay? Because if they have a draw and you're betting the sizing, a gut shot with an over is not going to call. Open-ended is kind of at a very difficult spot. Probably going to end up folding to this sizing, right? A 9 is going to fold. now you're putting a jack in a very difficult spot on future streets. Jack's going to call the turn, but unless he has two pair, which he does, or 4x of hearts or 9x of hearts, it's very hard for anything besides a jack to call, other than traps, which he has. So that's the kind of the concept between behind unblocking and why you're blasting with King Deuce here. The Deuce is irrelevant. The King's fairly irrelevant. I mean, you can have King 10 and King Queen, but yeah. Anyway, a little bit of nerd talk there for you.
The sick thing is, if the river's not a heart, Mateos has a lot of follow through with this hand because you unblock 4x of hearts, 9x of hearts.
Well, let's see. River card is the 7 of hearts.
That may save him. On the other side, Mateos has two very clear bluff candidates in 5-6 and 8-10 that both get there. So of the hearts we could see, this may be the one where Mateos buries himself.
There's 5 million
Super
chips
close.
in the middle. Malinowski has top 2 pair. Mateos min bet the flop, over bet the turn, 1.9 million. Now has a decision with just
No
king
heart.
high.
Find the check.
Yeah, I mean, if his king is a heart, not a diamond, it's probably a different story here.
Yeah,
But
it's super close.
oh,
He's going to throw in a time bank. This is a critical decision.
I mean, I guess Malinowski is just gonna call, but you're not you're loving it on the turn, and on the river, you're kind of like,
Yeah, of all the hearts that the 9 of hearts doesn't block Mateos's heart draws because he wasn't banging 9x of hearts for that size on the turn.
Oh my. He has announced all in, and if Malinowski can call, he will leave Mateos on crumbs.
he's
Is
got a
this
lot
the
of
hand?
time banks.
He's thinking.
I mean, he might fold, but you got to bet call here. Call.
On the 7 of hearts, river action checks to Mateos, who shoves all in for overpot again with absolutely nothing. King high, not even a heart in his hand, just a heart, a very large heart in his body. This is unbelievable. This bluff is wild. I get it because everything gets there, right? 5-6 gets there, hearts get there. You would prefer to have a heart in your hand. You really wouldn't have the king of hearts in your hand if you do this. Kind of surprised he's bluffing without a heart, but 10-8 gets there, 5-6 gets there, and backdoor hearts get there. And this is what Malinowski is thinking. What are my best hands to call with? Do I think he's going to be shoving a hand like aces, kings, and queens for value? Do I think he can have ace jack for value? Because obviously if I think that, then, we need to call. But we have to factor in that he, 1, overbet the turn, very polarizing. And then 2, overbet the river. So is he really playing, a hand like aces, kings, queens, and ace jack this way? That's what he's going to have to break down.
It's got to be a decent favorite, I would think.
Yeah, I'm probably calling against a rec that I don't think knows how to bluff.
But this is Mateos.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The thought that he's thinking. You're playing for a trophy. You got to think, but.
Also, guys, please do me a favor. If you like these massive tournament spots that I don't post very often, please like and subscribe and really help this channel grow.
We're also playing for $1.5 million. Can Limitless find the call? He's uncomfortable given what's on the line.
I would call here. I don't know.
Can he flick it in?
It's not easy, though.
This is he's not posturing.
So Mateos is really, his target at this point is Jack X hands, in particular, that don't have a heart, right? That have called twice.
No, because Victor has more. He's got a bunch of 9x stuff. Yes, he is targeting, hoping a jack
Maybe
folds
some 9X that called turn, sure, yeah.
Yeah, the majority of 9x I think is supposed to call turn. That's
Yeah.
the crazy thing. For Mateos' decision, which I think is the most interesting part, it comes down to how much 9X did he think Victor called. What did he say?
Oh my.
Wow.
Just folded.
Dude, he got Jack 9 with a heart to fold. That's sick.
Two pair is dead.
That is an insane bluff, and oddly enough, Victor actually comes back to win for $4.8 million. So, I mean, I guess he could have won it there by calling, but I don't think I'm gonna be folding there ever. I don't know. What an absolutely epic hand. I can't believe I've never seen this hand before. This is one of the more interesting heads-up hands I've seen in ages. I did not expect Jack 9 to fold. That's shocking, to be honest. Anyway, hopefully you guys like this video. Much love.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my apple.